What, are you going to humiliate me in front of her again? Haven't you humiliated me enough for her sake? You keep saying that I'm the person you care about the most, but you always side with her, an outsider, and let her bully me. Jerome, you're really hypocritical. His face became increasingly grim as I scolded him. Ding! Wisnovel reminds you to click the subscribe button in the bottom right corner to read the complete novel. He walked over and grabbed my wrist, pulling me outside. 3 hours later, I was imprisoned by Jerome Exton. I was imprisoned in his luxurious villa on the outskirts. Maybe because I had never talked to Jerome like that before, and also something happened between me and Corbin, all these had driven him crazy. Thinking about his character in the original text, I couldn't help but tremble. At this moment, I was stripped naked and locked on the bed by Jerome, while he stood in front of me, holding a long whip in his hand. I looked at the whip and felt a sharp pain all over my body. Lydia, you have made me very unhappy during this time. You have been disobedient. First, you escaped from me, and then you laid a hand on Kaylee. What punishment do you think I should give you? Jerome played with the whip in his hand, and I felt my body trembling. I knew about his torturous methods, and now seeing his excited face, I felt a sense of fear. You don't love me, so why do you insist on keeping me by your side? Keeping me by your side to humiliate and torture me. At least with Corbin, he respects me. But you only have eyes for Kaylee. Whatever I do is wrong. You're still making excuses for yourself. Lydia, you really disappoint me. That night, I experienced a mix of pain and pleasure, and I was on the verge of going crazy from Jerome's torture. Even though I resisted him, my body's settings couldn't resist him completely. And I brought upon myself various verbal humiliations from Jerome. Since that day, I have been imprisoned by Jerome. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any new work arrangements recently, so he stays at home. Every day, he thinks of ways to torment me. At first, I resisted, but later I realized that the more I resisted, the more intense the torture became, so I stopped resisting. Lydia, do you realize your mistake? He asked, pinching my chin. My eyes were lifeless. And I didn't respond to him. Kaylee will be here soon, and I hope you sincerely apologize to her. Jerome caressed my cheek. Because of your slap, she lost an advertisement. Lydia, you're an adult now, so you should take responsibility for your actions. I looked at him in horror. Jerome, you bastard. He really didn't see me as a person, and yet he insisted on this matter. And now, with my current appearance, being seen by Kaylee would be the most vicious humiliation. If you promise to apologize to her honestly, I will dress you. Jerome said, holding a piece of clothing in front of me. Looking at the determination in his eyes, I felt a chill. Before Kaylee arrived, I finally put on some clothes. But Jerome didn't want to unlock the chain on my feet. He said, Lydia, I love you too much. I'm afraid that if I don't lock you up, you will escape again. So I'll keep you locked up and you will never leave me. He was truly sick. I apologized to Kaylee in submission. Kaylee hugged Jerome's arm and smiled triumphantly. Jerome, you're the one who loves me the most. But because of her slap, I lost an advertisement and got scolded by the company. Isn't a simple apology too hasty? That advertisement endorsement fee is $10 million. I'll give you that $10 million. Jerome rubbed Kaylee's hair. You shouldn't be angry because of her. It's not good for your health, you know? Jerome, you're the best to me. She held Jerome tightly and buried herself in his arms, ignoring everyone else. I saw that Kaylee wanted to kiss Jerome's face so badly, but he pushed her away mercilessly. Kaylee was disappointed but didn't make a scene. That night, Kaylee didn't go back and stayed here. Because she stayed, Jerome didn't torment me anymore. He didn't come, but Kaylee did. At this moment, my hands were tied to the headboard, and Kaylee came in and looked at me, a look of disdain in her eyes. Lydia, you really are like a bitch raised by Jerome. Look at you, it must feel terrible to be tied up, right? Some people are eager to be a bitch, but don't have the qualifications. Are you jealous of me? I hit a nerve with Kaylee, and her face changed. She slapped me in response. You slut. That slap made my ears ring, and as I looked at her twisted face, I spat. Are you getting angry because you're ashamed? Kaylee, if you have the ability, go and win over Jerome. Make him only want you. If you can't do it yourself, why take it out on me? I knew that Kaylee regretted marrying into a wealthy family, especially as Jerome's career soared and he had a good appearance. She wanted to make a new choice, but she couldn't let go of her pride. You have no shame. Let me tell you, I'm getting a divorce soon. Jerome said he will marry me, and you're just a tool that has been used and discarded. Is that so? Then please ask him to let me go. I provocatively looked at her. Don't worry, he asked me to come and release you. Kaylee picked up the key and waved it at me. I looked at her and suddenly laughed. My intuition told me that something was amiss. Although I wanted to leave, Kaylee also wanted me to go. But who knows what awaits me outside? Perhaps an even deeper abyss. This woman has no good intentions. She wouldn't just let me go so easily. Then let him come and talk to me. Jerome is asleep and doesn't have time for you. You wanted to leave, and now you're changing your mind? Kaylee became anxious, her face turning ugly. No, I'm just afraid that you'll harm me. I lay on the bed and spoke in a calm tone. Although Jerome isn't a good person, at least I'm not in any danger with him. But once I leave here, anything could happen. You can easily find someone to kill me. You bitch. It seemed like she hit a nerve, pointing at me and cursing. You take kindness for weakness. It seems like you enjoy being humiliated by Jerome. Also, let me tell you, I'm getting a divorce. Once I'm divorced, Jerome will marry me. You won't have any chance. Well, congratulations on your second marriage then. Kaylee stormed off, leaving me with a whistle before she left. She said that if I changed my mind, all I had to do was blow the whistle and she would help me. As soon as she left, I threw away the whistle. Even if I believed in Jerome, that crazy pervert, I wouldn't trust this woman. I was awakened by someone kissing me with his mouth in the morning. When I woke up, I saw Jerome on top of me. His eyes gleamed with excitement, as if he wanted to consume me. He truly lived up to his reputation as the male lead in an erotic novel. He was getting hot and bothered so early in the morning. Lydia, you didn't disappoint me. I'm so happy. Jerome leaned in to kiss me, but I dodged. He held my face. I know you're still angry with me. But I will prove my love to you with time. I twitched at the corner of my mouth. Seeing his unusual reaction, I had a bold guess in my mind. Last night, it was you who sent Kaylee to test me, wasn't it? A complicated and embarrassed expression appeared on Jerome's face, and I instantly understood. This person was truly terrifying. He actually used this method to test me. If I had really left, I would have faced even more terrifying torment. Lydia, don't be angry. It was Kaylee who said your heart wasn't with me and wanted me to test you. He tried to explain, but I interrupted. What if I had followed her and left? What would have awaited me? Jerome's face froze, and he didn't say anything. But silence was an answer in itself. I didn't dare to think further. Both of these people were crazy perverts, and I just wanted to get away from them as soon as possible. Calculating the time, Corbin should be arriving here soon. Sure enough, the sound of police sirens could be heard outside the door, growing louder and sharper. I looked at Jerome and slowly spoke, each word pronounced clearly. Jerome, the game is over. Half an hour later, I was successfully rescued by the police led by Corbin. In the police station, I wrapped myself in the blanket that Corbin brought me and held a cup of water, sipping it slowly. My whole body was trembling. After a long time, I finally spoke slowly. Yes, a week ago, I was kidnapped and imprisoned by Jerome in his villa. He also sexually assaulted me. I choked up as I spoke. Everything I said is the truth. You can investigate. You can investigate and gather evidence. That day, there were countless hot searches about Jerome. Although the management company wanted to suppress the news before it was confirmed, the media was like flies. Once there was a crack in this egg, they would definitely dig deeper. At first, the fans blindly supported Jerome and even insulted me, saying that I shamelessly set a trap for him. When I saw a comment on a certain blog, I silently laughed. Well, this person is quite clever. I did set a trap for Jerome Exton. I should say that from the very beginning, this was a trap that I designed. I used myself as bait to make Jerome develop possessiveness towards me and then bring me back to imprison me. It all started the night I knocked on Corbin's door and asked him to take me in. It was all part of the plan. A plan to completely get rid of Jerome and escape from being the female lead of an erotic novel. I deliberately became Corbin's assistant, deliberately acting flirtatious with Corbin in front of Jerome, making him feel jealous. On the day of the wrap party, I knew he followed me into the bathroom. But Kaylee was an unexpected factor. Afterwards, I deliberately provoked him. And he took me back to the villa and imprisoned me. Everything happened as I expected. Including Corbin coming to rescue me, it was also part of my plan. I sent the recording of what happened in the bathroom to Corbin, and although I was taken away by Jerome, I believed Corbin would find a way to save me. This villa is not under Jerome's name, and no one else knows about it except him, so it took Corbin some time to find it. Fortunately, everything went according to my plan. After investigation and evidence collection, the police found that everything I said was true, and Jerome will soon be arrested. His agent contacted me, hoping to reconcile with me, hinting that the compensation price is up to me. Johnny even said, "You've been with Jerome for so many years, I know you have feelings for him. Now you want to heartlessly destroy him, can you really bear it?" Johnny, you're wrong. It's not me who wants to destroy him, it's him who wants to destroy himself. I'm just a victim. Why are you so malicious? You used to be so obedient, but it turns out you were scheming to harm him. You will get what you deserve. I laughed, feeling speechless about this baseless talk. Because I used to be obedient, but now that I want to defend my rights, I will be labeled as a troublemaker. Instead of blaming the criminal, they come to defame and insult me, an imperfect victim. Of course, there are also some rational people online who stand on my side and speak up for me. Regardless, there is no doubt about Jerome's criminal acts. Although I set him up, I know that even if I hadn't prepared from the beginning, this day would still come. This is the setting of the female lead in an erotic novel. I am meant to be played with and humiliated by the male lead. But now I have awakened and will protect myself in my own way, breaking free from the original storyline. Jerome has been sentenced to 3 years, and he sent a message from prison expressing his desire to see me. I refused. I don't want to say a word to this man who has caused me so much harm. As for Kaylee, because she was also in the recording, her wealthy husband beat her and they divorced. Her career was also greatly affected and she was blacklisted. As for Corbin, he has successfully become the hottest movie star, receiving all kinds of good opportunities. While he was busy and unable to free himself, I left the city and changed all my contact information. Although Corbin helped me, he's also a potential crazy person. I don't want to jump from one fire pit to another. Later, I saw on TV that the host asked Corbin if he has an ideal type. He looked at the camera and fell silent for a moment before nodding. I used to have one. But now I'm focusing on my career and don't have time for personal matters. However, I believe that one day I will meet that person again, and I will wait for her to come back to me. This confession-like statement caused quite a stir on the internet, and everyone speculated about who the girl that Corbin has been longing for could be. Meanwhile, I walked along a country road, holding my cat and walking my dog, breathing in the freedom of the air. Not far away, a luxury car slowly approached me. And the man inside looked at me affectionately, whispering to the driver, "Don't follow too closely, she will dislike it."